Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video I'm going to talk about, well, what's on my mind. Earlier, just not long ago, today, I was searching for basically delusions, information about delusions. I'm doing a little refresher course again. I always do that. I was a career student. Just keep myself occupied with thoughts like reminders, like I just said. Anyway, delusions of grandeur, grandiose delusions, and I searched for some scholarly research articles about it. Didn't really find any. Went to vulnerable narcissism and along this line instead. I didn't spend enough time researching it really, and what I did find just wasn't hitting what I wanted to find. So that happens, definitely happens. But so I looked in like I said before, I had the DSM-IV text revision, and I had that cited in my description. And I looked in that, and I'm thinking a lot about people who really see themselves, not just in a narcissistic way, or maybe it is, maybe it just all comes down to that, but they just see themselves as so much more than what they are, okay? And it's basically like they have taken a walk away from reality and went straight into fantasy. A reality world into a fantasy world. And for sometimes it can be drug related, like cocaine usage and some other reasons. But let's just talk about, but I really just want to focus on how I see it, not how I see it, more like how I feel it. Okay, that's what I meant to say. And it comes down to is when I see something like that, what I feel is disgust. That's what comes to my mind. The word that comes to my mind is disgust. Okay, and a lot of that, it's a sickening feeling to see them do it. And to see, do they really see this? Especially when they say it with such arrogance. Do they really think this, or is there something else working behind it? Probably. But especially it becomes disgusting to me when they then turn and hurt other people. Okay. They're going to state how wonderful, how great they are, how, not enough people have noticed it kind of thing, but they really have all this knowledge and insight and all this, and they might even think, like in the DSM, I think it says about, that they think they have a special connection to a deity. I think some people call it deity. Okay. And like with Jesus or God, or, that is talking to them, not in some, like they're also wearing aluminum hats kind of way, but you know what I'm saying. Then again, they might be. But I don't know. Now, I was also thinking how, I don't have much empathy for this type. Empathy is there, okay, for a human, but this type, whenever they go out and they really hurt people, when they really just cut everybody down, and because they're trying to step up on them to lift themselves up to where they're this, all this way up there, high on a pedestal, and they hurt people. I have no sympathy for them. That they are disorders in some way. Perhaps they are. That's up to a counselor to determine, or the whatever appropriate person where you live. But yeah, I could have turned my blinker on earlier. Huh? Now that I stopped, I found my notes that I wrote for this subtype of delusional disorder. I have so many notes, by the way. I just had turned around trying to find socks because I didn't have my socks on. And I found all these notes. I'm like, my goodness, how in the world did I collect all these notes? And there were some, for some reason, back seat. I don't know. Anyway, so it was grandiose type. Okay. And I think I wrote down pretty much what it stated, and I've pretty much said all that already. But that I wrote down that it applies when the central theme of a delusion is the conviction of having some great but unrecognized talent or insight, or having made some important discovery. I've known people like this. They do believe that they are so insightful, and I don't know. But they have this, that's what we always call it. The reason I was looking up delusions is because when I did find it in another book I have at home, it just didn't fit what I was thinking. What we had always called delusional, somebody's being delusional. And they're just bonkers. That would be another word for it. What they think and what they see and how they do it, how they see themselves or anybody else, grandiose, it's just off, okay? All right, I don't know if you heard all that noise, but it was very distracting and very loud. So anyway, moving on. And the other one was that they, think they have some kind of special relationship with somebody, some prominent figure, person or something. And if, I guess anybody else, maybe the real person they think is a fake, okay? Like especially I would say, think that if the real person denied having any relationship with them. So, and then that what I said about the deity. So, yeah. Sorry about all that, but apparently today is the day of big mufflers or something. It wasn't just one. A lot of noise behind me. My goodness. So that's kind of distracting when you have one on the left of you, one on the right on you, behind you and all that. Oh my goodness, that's the second time this week I've had, just yesterday, a lot of things going on behind me while I was trying to do a video, and I'm still hearing it. So I'm gonna go in the store. I'll be back, like you would know. I'm back. It was a diesel pumping gas behind me, and the stall's behind me, and it was still on, making all that noise. It was one of them, and then right as I opened up my door, just a truck with a big muffler came by. It's like, what is this, the theme of the day? Anyway, I was talking about delusions of grandeur, grandiose delusions, just being delusional. Yeah. And how it makes me feel sickened and disgusted, and lately I'm not that giving to say, okay, they are disordered perhaps, or they need to quit doing the drugs. Yeah. But just not, I feel like, it gets more and more in me to say these people are hurting other people. And I was going to make a video about just this part about how, when somebody's hurting someone, how would I feel, or why would I feel empathy for them? Okay, it's like setting aside the fact that these are people who are hurting people, and that hurt can last a lifetime. And I actually did that in the video. So, okay, where was I? I guess in a way I do feel some empathy, for the human. It's like this is a disordered, perhaps, or this is just a person who's losing or has lost it. It's in that whole, like I said, fantasy world. And can they even get out? Is there any hope for them? And isn't there any hope for the people they affect, the people they harm? Okay, the people that are around them, Okay, I think I'm going to wrap this up. I had my lunch a little early, and I'm going to get home and take care of my puppy and my dog. But you see this place over here? I don't know if you have them there. I only know of this one. But they have this pastrami sandwich. I did not know that until just when I drove in here. And I went and got me one. And it is delicious. All I ever thought they had were corn dogs and hot dogs, mainly hot dogs. So I don't know. I don't eat there. So I saw that and I said, hey, I want to give it a try. But anyway, yeah, this is on my mind. Various reasons. People who just, it's the whole blend, really. Like I was saying, the blend with the delusions of grandeur, the grandiosity, all of it. just so much. And then just to see it is kind of sad too. Just to see somebody melting down, losing it, totally losing it. That they would believe such things about themselves and have nothing really to, there's no fact to it. There's nothing, something, evidence is to the contrary on it. It just says the total opposite, that no, you're not at all that. And they still believe it. And the thing about it is they will have people who will see it somewhat of a how do you put it? That, it's the fake it till you make it kind of thing in some things. And they're just there and they're giving this person or these people, these, pats on the back and you go for it and all this. And they're never going to get there. It's never going to happen. Chances are it just isn't. It isn't somebody, like me being negative. It just is such a slim chance of it ever happening. But they believe it. They totally believe it. And there will be people, kind of like the flying monkey types, that are going to be there and supportive. And they think that it's supportive to, this is really where I wanted to go with this, is that some people think it's being supportive to, to buff somebody up. That is, there's not enough knowledge out there. There's not enough people understanding that things like that's not normal. That is very abnormal. And it shouldn't be, somebody being supportive of it. Instead say, hey, maybe they need to get some mental help. Maybe physical help. Maybe. At least have, some might suggest, have you been checked out lately? Maybe something's not going right there. But there's some of them are such good talkers that people will believe it and people will help them. And people will just, some people, not everybody, none of this is everybody. One size doesn't fit all. But yeah, that they go the wrong way because there's not enough knowledge out there. There's not enough people who have the knowledge. So there's plenty of knowledge out there. I should correct that. It's just that it doesn't get out to the GP, It just doesn't get out enough. Some people just focus too much on one topic, like me, like me. But yeah, and I can't even say but to that. It's true. Some people, like me, I focus a lot on, toxic people, narcissistic, histrionic. I really want to delve deeper into studying, again, refresher course on borderline and antisocial. But, how many times am I going to give myself a refresher course? They're there, they're out there. But I do want to maybe blend it with other things, that, like this one, the delusions, delusional disorder. I don't know enough about delusional disorder to talk about the whole, but I have done videos on, what was the other one? Well, there's more than one other one. Erotomania, I think, yeah. And that was like 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. I think I did 2 videos on that. And anyway, I just think that there needs to be more out there so people can see that this is just not somebody with, ambition, or, some people with ambition. It's delusional. It's a delusion. It's delusional. It's not right in their mind. I'm not diagnosing anybody, but that's just not right. Okay, and then to hurt people on top of it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.